I've always wanted to own a Pershing. I love the style of those yachts, I love their speed, I love their interior design, and actually before I became a yacht broker I did some work occasionally for the shipyard, so I know that they are robust, seaworthy, safe vessels built by a shipyard that can actually deliver on what it promises. In this video, I'm going to take on the role of a very specific sort of buyer, a busy British businessman who really knows how to make his money work for him. He wants to keep the yacht here in the south of France so that he can enjoy long weekends on board and also send his family and his friends to the yacht so that he makes the most of the ownership during the summer months. First though, of course, I need to find the yacht. So I've made an appointment with Sebastian Clavet, who represents the owner of this 2010 model called Lunar, and he's going to show me around. Sebastian actually is the ideal person to show me this yacht. He was the Pershing dealer for the south of France for many years, and so he really knows the product well and can help point me in the right direction to find good service and support when I buy the yacht. And I have to say, even though I was visiting to film a video about how to buy a yacht, it was very easy to start daydreaming about what it would be like to actually own something like this. It is just gorgeous. Now you may be surprised at how many people don't have to limit themselves to just daydreaming and can actually afford to buy an object as beautiful as this. Now in my last video I took the role of an American buyer to whom money was no object, and I really showed the worst case scenario in terms of costs. In this video I'm going to show you how many people make their money work for them to radically reduce those costs. Now, of course, we'll start with those three things that are essential to get into place for a yacht purchase. That is to say, the legal, the logistic, and the financial aspects of a purchase. So let's start with the legal. Now, with regards to the legal aspects of a yacht purchase, once again, I just can't overemphasize the importance of using a good, specialized marine lawyer. And when I asked Sebastian for his advice on this, he pointed me in the direction of a well-known individual who has successfully closed a great number of yacht sales and purchases. Remember, the contract used for most yacht sales in the Mediterranean is known as the MIBA, M-O-A. This contract allows you to pay a 10% deposit for the yacht so that you can sea trial and survey her before proceeding with the purchase. Larger yacht brokerages will have a client account that you can pay the deposit into, or the lawyer can hold the funds. I prefer the latter solution, but both can work well. After the sea trial, you have 24 hours to accept or reject the vessel, and if for any reason you decide that you prefer not to proceed within that 24 hours, you can withdraw and get your deposit back with only the costs of the sea trial withheld. After that, you can proceed to survey, and we'll discuss in a moment, but be aware that after the survey, you really do need to have found something pretty serious to be able to walk away from the deal. According to the MOA, it has to be something that affects the operational integrity or seaworthiness of the vessel. So we're not talking about problems with the AV system or a scratch on the paintwork. And here's a point I really want to underline for yacht buyers. Those are things that you really can discover before making an offer on the yacht. Don't wait until the survey and then think you can renegotiate the price down a little further, because you're highly unlikely to succeed and you risk losing your deposit. A good marine lawyer will not just explain the MOA to you, but he will also ensure that the yacht can be passed to you with clean title. He will advise you on the best place for you to register the yacht given your personal circumstances, and of course he'll make sure that the sale and purchase documents that have to be generated are in a format that's acceptable to that particular registry. Actually, the lawyer that Sebastian put me in touch with for this yacht gave me a host of really useful and practical information for a British buyer purchasing a VAT paid yacht in French waters. Considering that he knew that my buyer was fictitious, it was really impressive and informative. I'm very happy to put a credit to him at the end of this video, and we'll see the price of using such a valuable resource for your yacht purchase later on. The logistics in buying a yacht of this size are relatively simple, and once again they depend upon finding the right person for the job. As I already mentioned, it's important to survey any yacht that you buy, even one as well kept and maintained as Lunar that I have to say is really quite exceptional. The surveyor will attend the sea trial of the yacht, and on that point I should tell you that the owner of Lunar was actually extremely kind in taking the yacht out to sea for the making of this video. Usually a client only gets to go out on the yacht after a deposit is paid. Once the sea trial is completed, the surveyor will arrange for the yacht to be lifted in a shipyard so that he can inspect the bottom of the yacht and also take a thorough look at all the systems on board. I should add that sometimes it's easier to use a diver to inspect the bottom of the yacht, but it is preferable to lift it out of the water when you can. The surveyor will check the overall condition of the yacht, but will also check the machinery and systems on board so that you're made aware of any serious problem that may exist. A word of warning on this: you should never expect a surveyor to give a yacht a completely clean bill of health. The surveyor's job is to find problems and defects and report back to you, so don't be alarmed when you receive back a sizable document to read through. All yachts have a list of ongoing maintenance items that need to be dealt with, but a surveyor will tell you if there's anything that you should be alarmed by. The other important specialist you need on your side is, of course, a good captain. In the case of the Pershing, she has a propulsion system called surface drives. These are pretty easy to use, but it's always a plus if your captain has some experience with them. Above all though, choose a captain who you can get along with and feel comfortable with. The Pershing 80 is a yacht that most owners will feel comfortable driving themselves, so if I was buying Lunar, I would be looking for a captain that would be happy to let me do that when I felt like it, and jump in and help when I wanted him to. He will of course take over responsibility for the yacht once the sale is complete, so if I were really buying Lunar, I'd be asking Sebastian to find me an experienced Pershing captain who could meet those requirements. One of the big attractions of this yacht for me as a British buyer is that she's VAT paid. Now, for decades, yacht buyers have been finding inventive ways not to pay the tax on their yacht, and that's understandable enough. If there's a legal way not to have to pay something, why would you want to? However, it's becoming increasingly difficult not to pay VAT for a European resident using his yacht in European waters. So, for me to find the model of Pershing that I really want and VAT paid, that's a major plus for me. And that brings me on to the final aspect of yacht purchase, the financial aspect. How much does it really cost? Financial. Well, the asking price of Lunar is €2,450,000, and as I mentioned, this is already VAT paid, which is a great plus for me as a British buyer. I want to make my money work for me though, so I intend to finance the purchase. I contacted a specialist finance company whose details will appear at the end of this video, and they suggested this formula: a 40% down payment of €980,000, 60 monthly payments of €21,256, and a final balloon payment of €441,000. Kind of the finance company to give me this ballpark information since, as you know, interest rates can change, and they calculated this with a rate of 5% over Euribor. They stated that actually the interest rate may be lower than that. Now, as you know, I need a good surveyor to thoroughly survey Lunar before I buy her, and my broker Sebastian recommended a local surveyor who's very well qualified to do this and quoted €3,630 for the service. His details too shall be at the end of the video. The surveyor will want to have the yacht lifted so that he can inspect the bottom, and lifting the yacht in a local shipyard will cost in the region of €3,000. As far as one-off costs are concerned, the only other expense that I have is that of the legal fees. And remember that my lawyer will not just make sure that the contract is watertight, but also ensure that I have good advice on which flag I should use and ensure that there's a clean title to the yacht. The estimated cost of his services is between 20 and 25,000 euro. So my initial costs to buy this yacht are 980,000 euro for my deposit, 3,630 euro for the surveyor, 3,000 euro for the haul out in a shipyard, and a maximum of 25,000 euro for the lawyer, making a grand total of 1,011,630 euro. So what about the running costs? Well, on top of the 21,256 euro monthly finance costs, I have to also consider the insurance for the yacht. Once again, this video has been sponsored by Private Insurance Services, who gave a quote of 15,870 euro per year for this yacht. The interesting part about the running costs for me, though, was that the current owner uses a local captain who keeps an eye on the yacht while he's away, makes sure it's well maintained and cleaned regularly, and then comes along when they take the yacht out. This is a clever way to keep your running costs contained, and so the total running costs on Lunar for the year are 120,000 euro, and I have to say, having been on board, that absolutely no corners are cut. This yacht is immaculate. With 120,000 euro of yearly running costs, 15,870 euro for insurance, and 21,256 euro per month, the total yearly expense for me will be 390,942 euro. But remember, most of that is on the repayment of the loan to purchase the yacht. The real running costs as such are about 120,000 euro. So once again, the key to a successful yacht purchase is finding the right specialists to assist you with the legal, logistic and financial aspects of the purchase. And that's especially the case when you're going to finance the yacht, as is the case of my hypothetical British buyer. Now for me, all of those specialists were put together by my broker, Sebastian Clavet, and he also helped me with the running cost calculations of the yacht. And on the subject of running costs, there's a really important point that I want to make. When I represent the seller of a yacht, it's not unusual for the buyer's broker to ask me what the current owner has as running costs on the yacht. And I find that question, I must admit, a little bit annoying, because in my opinion, a buyer's broker should be asking his client how he intends to use the yacht, and then calculating their running costs according to how they intend to use the yacht. It's not unusual to find two identical vessels with different budgets that can be hundreds of thousands of dollars apart. And it also doesn't always follow that the one with the bigger budget is necessarily in better condition than the one with the smaller budget. In next month's episode of How to Buy a Yacht, I plan to take a look at a really huge super yacht and to get into the nitty-gritty of how an owner can buy such a large object while still enjoying being a yacht owner and not getting dragged down into the complications of the purchase. That particular video is going to take quite a lot of work to put together, so find out how I get on with it in about 4 weeks' time. And in the meantime, enjoy all of the great and varied content that this channel has to offer.